Hello, Assalamualaikum Dr. Arni. Before I proceed with our presentation, allow me first to introduce my fellow group members, which is Afifat binti Miyar Kamalubait, Ainul Maisara Saiful Raznan, and Nur Anis Atira Muhammad Murad. I am Nur Elena binti Ishaq, the first presenter. Firstly, I will introduce our innovation group project. A trip to Sarawak is not perfect for a tourist without stopping to Longhouse. According to Sarawak Government 2014, a visit and homestay program is a tourist activities that was introduced and supported by the government and Tourism Malaysia. However, the Longhouse facilities, amenities and services offered are on a rocky road today, specifically in terms of the transportation ecosystem. Therefore, we have come out and want to propose the idea of innovation that is to create a van stand at the Annah Rais Longhouse, where it acts as a point route that starts or ends where the transport like tourist coach van can depart or return between Annah Rais, Longhouse and the Kuching Central. And the intended result will be the efficiency of the transport ecosystem in Annah Rais, Longhouse, and enhancing the accessibility and increasing the tourist arrival and departure. Borneo is one of the unique destinations where tourists can experience a breath of fresh air flowing from thousands of square miles of fern forest and discover the natural resources that exist there. And according to the Borneo project, the third largest island in the world after Greenland and New Guinea is Borneo. So Malaysia Borneo has been separated by Brunei in two states, which is Sabah and Sarawak. And the chosen destination for this innovation project is Annah Rais Longhouse at Sarawak. So Longhouse is a home for all native tribes in Sarawak, and the most dominant tribes in Sarawak is the Dayak people, consisting of Iban, Bidayo, and Orang Ulu, and others. And mainly this Longhouse is a terrace street that built on stilts covered by one long roof with a separate dwellings that accommodate almost 100 families per Longhouse. And Annah Rais Longhouse is the oldest village that consists of Bidayo tribes, and the settlement are about 300 years old that sited there near to the border of Kalimantan, which was stated by Edward as the 9th generation of the Longhouse dwellers. So this Longhouse is basically made of a centuries of old bamboo and one of the finest villages that still exists today. And the floor of Annah Rais Longhouse is made of strips split from large bamboo and belian planks, where the bamboos are tied down together with rotan, lianas, or woody vines. The layout of the Longhouse is very quite simple and straightforward, where it is equipped with a kitchen, dining, and sleeping areas, where there also have attic, which the attic is used to store handicrafts such as tambok. Tambok is a basket strap to a transporter bag who use it to carry and produce rattan mats. So the Longhouse basically has been built especially for the building to adapt to the local climate, as well as for the dwellers to feel comfort while encouraging energy saver qualities. As the time passes, the Longhouse has been modernized a little bit in terms of the facilities, a pathway road for another attractions nearby, and the parking lots for cars. And tourists who visit there can experience the first-hand experience from the lifestyle of the tribe there. which is a unique experience they can gain. But through interacting and participating with the people there. However, there are no bus provided for tourists to Annah Rais Longhouse, as there are only taxi services available or for tourists to rent car to go there. Therefore, we want to propose an idea, which is the van stand, to enhance the transportation ecosystem. In why it is a van instead of bus, because van is more easy access and suitable for the roads journey to Annah Rais, and this will act as a drop-off or pick-up location for the van shuttle directly from Annah Rais Longhouse and the Kuching Central. And it is easier for the community there, as they can receive more groups at one time, and at the same time they can generate local income, and for the local people also to learn new skills. And this will benefit both parties, as the shuttle transportation will ease the tourists to not rent a car or pay for expensive taxi fares, and at the same time more cost and time efficient, while the group of local people can benefit from boosting their local economy at the same time. There are three objectives for our innovation. Firstly is for the community, which is to innovate the existing place, which is Annah Rais Longhouse, for a better lifestyle, where it is for to give back to the community, where it advantage the family in terms of the income generation per family, and also to boost the local economic growth of the Bidayo tribes there. And the second one is for the tourists, which is to make it easy access for tourists to travel around between Annah Rais and the Kuching terminal. And it also serves as the sufficient details for the tourists if they want to know when the arrival and departure ride is available for them. And the third one is towards the country, which is to upgrade and innovate the transportation ecosystem at Annah Rais Longhouse. And as the ecosystem of transportation gets better, they can receive more tourists to come there, as transportation is one of the most important attributes that tourists will consider when they want to decide to visit a location. And it is also to preserve the place for more visitors to come in future, as the accessibility is one of the crucial key for any attractions, so that the place can last long and more potential tourists can come in the future.
Transportation used to be very simple, for which we can consider it as from point A to point B. However, as the society developed, so do our transportation needs and wants. So in Annah Rais situation, they have a very poor transportation options, which is lack of mobility. However, for Annah Rais situations, they are lacking of mobility and also access, as tourists or even local have to transit from one destination to another destination. The transportation was never good, and only small cars that been rent or taxi are only allowed there, because the road are kind of narrow. Also, there is no direct shuttle to go to Annah Rais Longhouse. So if tourists want to go there, tourists need to have their own car or rent it. So there's also a bus or public transport, but there is no specific for the attractions itself. And also, Annah Rais is as the road is very narrow, there is a limited capacity for visitors, as the space of the road is not convenient for them, and the traffic conjunctions and parking difficulties are also a problem there. So we create this van stand that will be located at Annah Rais, and what makes it special is because that we made it from bamboo, specifically gua dua bamboo, which is our main material for the van stand. So the van stand will locate at outside of Annah. So the reason why we are using bamboo because it is fiber, highly flexible, low cost and environmental friendly. It is also lightweight compared to steel, and also bamboo can prevent pollution by absorbing amount of hydrogen from waterways. And lastly is that we also focus on sustainability development, which is we applied solar panel as a design of the roof, so which the solar could absorb the energy and turn it into electrical energy that will be used for the advertising and also on time schedule.
The commercial potential, we have 2 points which are easy to find transport to reach the Longhouse and also to help to promote the Longhouse. So for the first point, this method makes it easier for the tourists or visitors that want to reach another Longhouse. Instead of renting cars or using a travel agent service to reach the destination, the tourists can save costs from paying a higher rate of price to the lower price of traveling. The independent tourist can easily find the shuttle to reach the Longhouse, as the management of transportation becomes more efficient for tourists and visitors, and the service will increase sales to current and lapsed customers. So, the efficiency of transport is an advantage for local and foreign visitors. By using a minivan as the main carrier with a maximum capacity of 12 people on a trip to the Longhouse, will ensure safety for the visitors throughout the journey. As for the second point, this innovation is important as it helps to promote the destination because transportation is needed for destination promotion and tourism destination development. So the destination has the potential to raise income for the Longhouse when people start to have an interest in visiting the destination with the efficient transportation provided. And there will be no competitor for transportation that provides service specifically to Annah Longhouse. The market acceptance of the innovation will boost the promotion of Annah Longhouse. While Sarawak is very famous with a variety of ethnicities and cultures, and the Longhouse is one of the main attractions of the state, the van stand will manage to stand in the market for as long as it should and develop the destination for the Longhouse.
Hi, I'm Annah. So I will talk about my part in innovation based on existing resources. So this innovation project, the Vincent, is basically proposed with exact on the existing resources because Annah Longhouse already exists in 5 generations ago. So to exist for such a long time, this large Bidayuh Longhouse that centered around the centuries-old bamboo has rebuilt and preserved most of the originality of the Longhouse since decades ago. So with that concept of the Longhouse that made of bamboo, we thought about the van stand to rebuild everything, the whole building with the bamboo. The type of bamboo is gua dua bamboo. It was for construction use, usually used for something that want to build for a really long time. When we thought of create or rebuild of the building, we often thought about the concrete, the bricks, and the cement, whatever it is, to make the building very strong. But not to be mentioned, actually, bamboo is way stronger than steel and it can stand alone for many years ahead. Like this Longhouse itself, it was built with the old centuries bamboo, so that's why we thought about using bamboo as our existing resource to the bandstand recreation. So Malaysia is known for two seasons only, rainy season and also sunny seasons, which is why we propose the innovation as using sunlight for our solar energy, because we thought that by designing the solar panel on top of the roof for the bandstand, so maybe sunlight is the main existing resource for this purpose. And moving on, other than using gua-dua bamboo and sunlight for our solar panel roof, we thought about a stainless steel bench that going to build on the surface of the bandstand. As for steel, also was known as the existing resource because it was stripped from iron and few other materials that make it stainless steel, and that was part of the strategy of innovation to the project to make it not harmful and safe for the environment and surroundings at Annah Rais Longhouse. Aside from giving a lot of benefits and potential to improve the transportation for the longhouses.
Point that we highlighted as the benefit of mankind is to enhance the living of standard of the native there. So we are by the existing of bandstand, we could reduce unemployment and poverty, as we are creating jobs such as van drivers, and such job could reduce major problems, social problems such as crime, and with that they can improve their living, and as they are generating more income. Next would be easy access to transportations. It is an advantage for both local and also tourists. For local, they could actually reach there without having to stop at many places, and for tourists too. However, with tourists, they could have the satisfactions and revisit intentions, as they are very satisfied with the better transportations, and also it could bring benefit as both local and tourists could save time and cost because they are traveling directly and there's no added charges except for the trip. So if the tourists are satisfied enough with the easy access to the transportations of the Longhouse, good reviews and recommendation may naturally attract potential tourists that plan to experience the Longhouse itself. And when the transportation system is fair enough to help the travel plan, real-time data will be applied, as it can control public transportation operations, improve public transportation planning, and also provide accurate information to tourists.
So for the bandstand, there are three sustainable efforts, which are carpooling, bamboo walls, and also solar energy. For the first point, the minivan will be bringing tourists up to 12 people on one trip, which will result in less air pollution from the minivan gas and some pollution to the environment. This effort is crucial to maintain sustainability when having less transportation on the road. It will reduce greenhouse gas emissions and the air quality will be improved. The air contamination caused by vehicular traffic is related to a variety of health issues, including lung disorders, cardiovascular disease, asthma, and neurological consequences, according to the Environment Canada. It also will help to reduce health threats to everyone, and research also suggests carpooling is less stressful than traveling alone, and is one of the best ways to make new friends with other tourists. So the next one, the bandstand is made out of gua-dua bamboo, which is very suitable for all types of constructions and structures. Without the need for sophisticated tools or equipment, Bamboo is easy to cut, handle, repair, reposition, and maintain. And bamboo is also environmentally friendly and has no crust or components which can be considered waste. Rather than attaching to the polluting landfill problems like conventional waste materials, any unused part of the bamboo is reprocessed back into the environment as a fertilizer and can also be stored as bamboo charcoal. The major advantage of building this stand with bamboo is that it becomes a magnificent, natural, and renewable material, leading to a rapid development which can prevent our precious tropical rainforests from deforestation in the future. So, by using this guadua bamboo, it shows the effort of this innovation to promote Annah Rais Longhouse and how crucial it is to maintain sustainable efforts in promoting the Longhouse. And for the third point, the solar power really is a form of renewable energy which it could be utilized in any country around the world and is accessible daily. Unlike some of the other energy resources, we cannot run out of solar energy. Solar energy should be available if we have the sun, so the sunlight will then be obtainable with the world for at least 5 billion years when the sun dies, according to the scientists. So when the solar energy system is generating, it will reduce the electricity bills. The advertising board and the schedule board lights up by the power from the solar energy, which will certainly save electricity usage. So, it's important to maintain the longevity of the material used for the innovation. Therefore, by implementing the solar energies to the stand, it will help the environment by reducing lesser electricity power and also and of course it might cost a bit, but it's always worth the plan.
This longhouse location can be considered as rural areas. We are aware that rural areas usually have specific structural challenges to address. So we point out five anticipated challenge. Number one is acceptance and cooperation from the Longhouse community and rural policy implementations of Sarawak tourism. Even though they are living in this new era and acknowledge modern life outside the Longhouse locations, not all of the Bidayo tribes are open and accepting the new change. As long as we come to this agreement and rejections from the Longhouse community, this will be a big challenge and fast fall for this project innovation to proceed. For the second one, the fact that the large portions of rural Sarawak tourism are under native customary land and held by the indigenous population under various forms of customary tenure without a registered title. The land becomes an obstacle to development because it cannot be transferred or used as a collateral. Second point is the cost of improving routes for transportation. This is because before we proposing the idea, we considered the routes and trails around the locations. From the experience visiting Annah Rais Longhouse, for transportation and roadway to reach the Longhouse is never good. Only small cars or motorcycles can pass by the narrow road to the Longhouse. Not to mention it took really long time to reach the Longhouse due to the poor routes and unpatched routes from the town or central to the Annah Rais Longhouse. So what is the point of creating a van stand for tourists or local to use if the routes are still poor? And to improve the routes, the cost can be very high and took a lot of time to repair the routes, as it is not easy for big transportation, especially for construction vehicles such as excavators, bulldozers, concrete mixers or others that to reach the location due to the narrow road. The third point for anticipated challenge is capital allocation and training facility for the community interest in working. What it means by this point is, since this project requires a high cost of money, we need to consider the capital allocation from Sarawak Tourism for long-term stability in maintaining the bandstand. To do that, we need to come an agreement in contract with Sarawak Tourism. If only Sarawak Tourism takes this project into considerations, it may leave our struggle an obstacle to maintaining the bandstand productivity in the long term. By doing so, the bandstand may create a job opportunity for the Longhouse community, especially as van drivers that pick up and drop off the locals or tourists from the town or central to the Annah Rais Longhouse, and vice versa. With no driving class near the Longhouse location, the Longhouse community may not be able to get the driving license or training to drive the van legally. If Sarawak Tourism cannot provide the facilities for them to train as drivers or any mechanical knowledges, so they cannot maintain the van or even van stand itself by themselves. Next, the fourth point is high cost investing the solar panel. We knew that solar panel is really expensive, as solar energy system give a lot of advantages, such as it will reduce the electrical bills, generate electricity in regions without connection to the power grid, to distill water in the regions with insufficient availability of clean water, and to fuel satellites in orbit. It still costs a lot of money to apply the solar panel. Even though it is worth the plan on helping to reduce the bills and others, it still costs a lot to apply the solar panel on top of the van roof. Last point is environmental catastrophe. Mentioned in this innovation project, Annah Rais Longhouse is located at the side of the hills, living in the isolated existence to the south of Kuching along Sarawak mountainous border of Kalimantan. There will be a chance of any environmental catastrophe that could happen anytime. This is because there are known in two general categories. That is environmental catastrophe that caused by the human incidents, or the second one, it caused by natural climate or weather events, as the phenomenon of disaster can happen anytime and unpredictable for everyone. We need to be more aware of the vents and being damaged by the unexpected weather that may bring the impairment or damage to the bandstand in the future, since the bandstand itself is made with 100% of bamboo. As for the value added to the innovation, when this topic on how the value added to innovation brings any difference to the project, we thought of two questions. One is, we refer to our innovation value and how our innovation can make the local economy and community better in the future. So with the value added, we can reposition Annah Rais Longhouse products by adding new functionalities that will improve their business or Longhouse performance. On how we can make the local economy and community better, one of them is providing the potential for the job opportunity. By mentioning the job opportunity here, we are aware that Annah Rais Longhouse not only lives by the tribe, but they also open up the homestay, hot spring for the tourists to stay in. And With our Western innovation added to this longhouse, it will play a bigger role to have the economy increase by attracting more tourists to visit, as there was an easy access transportations to get there and improve the productivity of the tribe community. As for now, Annah Rais Longhouse only use their tribe for tour guide tour whenever the tourists come to the Longhouse to visit. While some elders run the souvenir shop that sells their own product that they retrieve from the land by harvesting or crafting something traditional out of it. This Western innovation also can help the tribe to get their job as van drivers that pick up and drop off the visitors that plan a schedule with the longhouse visits. With the demand to visit the longhouse increase, there's possibility that the souvenir shops in the longhouse area will gain as suppliers interest to invest in the food and beverages. Next question we point out is on with our innovation, how it can be beneficial to the existing product of the Annah Rais Longhouse. Annah Rais Longhouse already has their existing product, which is the well-known among tourists about their few packages called Longhouse Tour, and also the hot spring attractions, and some various outdoor and indoor activities that they offer. With all the packages and activities that mentioned before, it is impossible for tourists all over the world who travel to Sarawak and plan to blend in with the Bidayo culture not to visit the Annah Rais. So the high chance for tourists will know about the Annah Rais Longhouse and travel there is still high. Yet, to reach the Longhouse, the real obstacle for tourists, actually it takes really long time to arrive, as there is no direct transportation to land up to the Longhouse, and unpatched and narrow road along the journey main reason why tourists are not able to reach the house directly. As we create the van innovation, it may help the tourists to save their time and cost on various transport like before, as the van from Annah Rais will have their own schedule to pick up and drop off the passengers in the future. Once the transportation system improves, it will be beneficial to both tourists and the community itself. Other than that, with the vans and existing, there is a chance and high possibility that our innovation will gain a partnership contract with the Kuching Central and also Sarawak Tourism. As Kuching Central is the main station for public transport stops, there will be an opportunity to create a partnership with Kuching Central, as both the service aim for customers that need to use the transportation to travel. The disadvantage of not having accessible transportation to reach the location always gives some negative reviews, as travelers will express their disappointment at not being able to visit places easily on the attractions that they choose. And a Western project is beneficial enough for everyone, either the community or tourists that plan to visit Annah Rais Longhouse in the future.
So as you can see here, this is our poster for the Western innovation. We had designed a replica of how the Western will look like at the Annah Rais Longhouse. So the wall will be made out of the guadua bamboo, and the roof is from the mini solar system that will be installed, and there is a bit a small billboard for the advertisement and also the information on the minivan departure and arrival time. Also some seats for the visitors, for the tourists to sit while waiting for the minivan. And there in the poster we also include a little bit of information about the solar and also the guadua bamboo and also the objectives of why this bandstand should be implemented at Annah Rais Longhouse.
To conclude, overall, the innovation project we propose for this longhouse is capable of developing a rural tourism sector and transportation system in Sarawak, especially in Annah Rais Longhouse area. It is economically beneficial not only to the tourism sector but also to the Longhouse community of Annah Rais, as the Longhouse has greater potential to attract a lot of local and international tourists that desire to have a Longhouse experience staycation. If the bandstand project can be suggested and opted to proceed, it can help boost the local economic growth and community revenue itself. I think that's all for our final group project for tourism destination analysis about the innovation of bandstand at the Annah Rais Longhouse in Sarawak. Thank you.